Vincenzo'S Go Crypto Investing. Remember the bell notification. Most importantly, like the channel, subscribe, become members of C Jabroni Killer to support the channel for an industry exclusive low, best value on YouTube in the cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and XRP out there for $2.69 to keep these daily videos coming once a day, every day that you expect, come to know, love, and deserve and need. And also, if you want to trade XRP, if you want to trade XLM, if you want to trade Ethereum, Solana, amongst a bunch of other coins, join me here. And it's a quick, easy, free, cheapest value out there to trade cryptocurrency on Robinhood. Use my Robinhood promotion link right there. It's always in the pinned comment or in the description below. And you'll get a free stock. And you can trade your most valuable crypto coins like XRP, like XLM, Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Cardano, amongst the other high flyers that people like to trade. Remember, it's the cheapest way to buy on the lowest fees to buy cryptocurrency and XRP out there, and that is through Robinhood. And you can always use my Robinhood link, and it helps support the channel with my promo link there. We both get a free stock. You hook each other up. It helps you out. It helps me out, and it keeps you a cheap, easy, affordable way with the lowest fees in the business to trade XRP or your favorite cryptocurrency coins. And there's a bunch of them on there now. And you don't have to worry about getting squeezed out of 3 to 5 to 8% to buy and sell like on some of these shyster and fleecer brokerage houses and some of those outrageous fees that they charge. But if we look at the chart today, something that we've been talking about, we had a nice little rally from the last couple of days. We had a nice little consolidation down here in the Bitcoin price after a phenomenal rally post-Trump election. And you can see we bounced off of an area that we were talking about. If we zoom in here a little bit, you can see the first area of support was down here near the 100-day moving average in blue, which it did bounce off of in the 4-hour time frame. But if we go to the daily time frame, you can see the 50-day moving average is still way down there. But in the shorter time frame, on a quick reversal, it did something that we were talking about that we were going to pay attention to see if that did happen. And we thought it might happen off of the 89,840, but it bounced just in front of that and had a very nice rally today. And what it did was it filled this little area right there where it looks like a V-shaped recovery. And that was something that we were watching to see if that would actually happen. And it did happen. But then if you watch yesterday in the prior day's video, we said if it bounced off this 89,000 and then comes up, but does not break this old high right there, or this regional high, you would start to be seeing a little dump, a lower high, and then if it came up and didn't break it, a lower high, and that would be 2 straight lower highs, and that might be a trend. Once is a thing, twice is indicating a trend starting to form, and a third time is a trend confirmed. And now what you want to see here is it going to do something like this after the 99,820 high? If we clone this real quick, is this going to now, if it does not continue its rally and bounce before it makes a new regional low, which was down here at about 90,000 and change, if it comes back down there and doesn't breach this old high right here at the V-shaped recovery, the next time it's going to come down to the 90,000, maybe a slight rally, but then it's going to come straight down to the 85,233.71. So that's what you want to see. This is the two things that I would worry about right now. Is A, you want to get supported and not breach this low right here, right? This regional low down there at about 89 to 90,000, just above. It was about 80. Where was it at? It bounced at 90,780. You don't want to breach that on the next pullback. You want to breach this first local, first dip, little pump back before it had the big consolidation the last 24 to 48 hours, or you're going to do something like this. You're going to trade, you're going to have a little bit of a pump, and then you're going to come down and you're going to retest in the 4-hour time frame, the 200-day moving average in green, down there at 85,233.71. And that's something that we're watching. That's a track your more bearish track and continued consolidation. But if you get into more of a bullish continuation, you're going to trade around and then you're going to breach that old high and then come and breach the old all-time high and then start to trade back to the upside, right? So those are the two things that I'm watching for. The more bullish track is that you stay above with our industry exclusive pointing tool. You had your peak, then you had your first dump in consolidation, then you had a little run up, but it came only up to 98,922, well short of the all-time high at 99,800 and change. And then you had a big flush all the way down to 90,708. And then currently your pump that just ended for today came up to 97,437 below this $99,010, right? So if you don't breach and take out that first lower high, because you had high, lower high, this would be another lower high, and that would be signaling further correction down to 85,233.71, right? So that's what we're watching out for right now. And then, of course, your major underneath support is down there at the 74,375, and that was at the old breakout where we had our first sell-off, right there. And then we had our consolidation right here before we had the big breakout. So those are your three levels that I'm watching out for. A continuation of the sell-off and correction would be that you do not breach this high right here, this first lower high, would signify that you're coming down to 85,233. But on this correction, if you can stay above this 90,813 and then start to bounce back, if you don't bounce back from where you're at now, that could signify that you're going to break this first lower high and be more bullish than more of a correction phase. So that's something that we're watching out for right now. Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, and that is something that we were watching out for as the Bitcoin dominance broke a key level at the 58.55% level, which could signify further sell-off in the Bitcoin dominance. And because of that, you can see this coin you can trade on Robinhood. Ethereum has now broken out to a new regional high, and it took out this old high back in August at about $3,557. And now we're going to see if we can't come up into the old high from back in June at about 39,000 to 4,000, right? And then there was a coin one of my subscribers were asking about. Let me go in here and see. Let me go into my community here. XYT, and there was another one I thought. Somebody else was asking about something in here. Let's see. Let's see if we can't find this little fellow. View all. And we've had some great support here. We picked up almost 100 new followers, and I really appreciate that. With your comments and your likes and your shares have really helped me get some new viewers on here and really helped me to get this channel moving in the right direction. So XYZ was one of them. LCX, he said Vincenzo, Artie Lopez. Vincenzo, can you please take a look at LCX? I sold back in April when you said it was going to go down. Maybe it'll go to a new all-time high. And let's see LCX. Let's see what we're talking about. And I did take a brief look at this morning before I got to traveling. And it looked like that was a good sell at the time, because if we go to LCX, USD, we can see where it was. It had a phenomenal pump the last 48 hours. But back in April of this year, you can see where this price was at, where we said that it would be a good time to take profit. Back in April, we were sitting up here at about 38 cents. And we did. It was a great call by me and a great play by Artie Lopez by selling back then, by realizing his profits, because this coin did go down about 80% from the April high. And then just recently in this current run, had a big run back up almost to, or it did touch that April high or just below the April high. But the call was made when we gave him some advice back then that it was going to sell off, and it had a quick sell off, right? Just after April, I believe, if we take a look at our industry exclusive pointing tool. Let's see. This was back in April. And then mid-April, we had a big flush. Then it came back up the end of April and May and consolidated, and then continued the downturn. So back in April, that was some good advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are only my own personal opinions on the market, Jay. But it was a good call and a good play by him by selling and then realizing those profits because the coin did go down greater than 80% from the top. And now you can see in the last 48 hours, it had a phenomenal pump for anybody that did take a chance when it was sitting there. And if you notice where we had our area that it would most likely come down to was the beginning of the pump back here, and we had it highlighted in a yellow trading box, and you can see how old this was because we had our old price note up there, and you can see where it did come down to, and it hit beautifully on that trading box down here at about 0.0849 cents, and that's exactly where we were highlighting as a major area of support and resistance that we were thinking if it had a big sell-off, that would be an area that it would come back down to and trade to. And I haven't touched this since back in April. I completely forgot about this coin. It wasn't even on my radar until my good man hit that. But if you want, you very well could, a new all-time high would be much higher. Because if we look back on here, you can see the old all-time high is way up here at 67 cents. So it's going to be interesting to see if it can get back up there. It would be a very challenging thing because I would think there's going to be some kind of a sell-off now. If we look at get it in tighter to the 45-minute, I would think you're going to have, just like XLM did, an initial sell-off after a greater than from the bottom of its regional low all the way up. It went up 267%. So it would only be logical at some point you'd have a sell-off back to the moving averages. And then if it held that, then you could be looking at maybe making a run at its old all-time high. Right? If we look at the all-important XRP, which you can trade on Robinhood, and if you would like to trade with me on Robinhood, it's got the cheapest fees. It's the easiest way to buy XRP, hassle-free, very low to zero fees to trade it. It charges you about 0.25% to buy it and then 0.25% to sell it at the max. So that's an industry best to buy and sell cryptocurrency and XRP on Robinhood. Use my link in the description below and in the pinned comment, right? You can see XLM now, or XRP, after it hit that $1.62, it's been consolidating down and sideways. And we did have a nice second hit right at the regional lows down here at about the $1.36 to $1.37 level. And now it's topping out. But if we notice something that's very interesting, it has made now its third consecutive lower low. And if we pull back out that industry exclusive full screen and pointer tool, we had our local high up here at $1.62. Then we had our first sell-off. And then our first time we didn't make a new high. It only came up to $1.59, then fell off, consolidated, and dumped. Then on our next rally, we came all the way up to $1.53, but was lower than $1.59. Then had another sharp sell-off, then had a wick up, slightly lower than $1.53 and $1.58. Then we had another big dump, and we're coming all the way up. And if you notice, it's slightly lower than this old high right here. So now we've had one, two, a wick. Our third time now is becoming to be and see a trend of our third consecutive lower low after dump, after dump, after dump, lower low, lower low, lower low. If this doesn't rebound off the moving averages and breach this, that would signify a continuation of the bullish trend. If this was our recent peak, my next big area to underneath target would be $1.25 as a major underneath support level. And that would be something that I'm watching out for in the daily time frame over the Thanksgiving week into the holiday weekend, is coming down to the $1.25 if you don't get supported on the 50 or the 100-day moving average right there in the red and blue respectively. And then a major correction would bring you all the way down here to that 92 cents, right? So that's what we're looking like there in the XRP. The XLM's the same thing. We're noticing a trend here, and it's all about trends. You got to try to see a trend. And we had our big blow off top with the big hysteria with the annual report that had to be released with Grayscale. We had our big dump, and then after our first pump, we only came back up to about a 58.5 cents, way below the 63, 64 cents. Then we consolidated down and had a big dump. And now on this most recent run today, we were up better than 16% today, but only topped out now at 53 and a quarter cents, which is below this high and below that high. So now we have one in our second regional lower low. And what I would be watching out for now is a retracement, not only back to this 43 cents and this area where we had a local double bottom rate here at 42. I would be looking at an even lower move if we look at the 4-hour time frame, right at the 100-day moving average in red right there. That would be my next major target that I'm watching out for, because we seem to be signifying some kind of a trend. And then I would be looking at as this 100-day moving average is sneaking up ever so closely to this old area of, after our first major run up, we had a nice consolidation, then a big push, right? And now that's lining up almost exactly with the underneath short-term support of that rising channel that was in, and we just brought an extension off of there, and it's running right at the 100-day moving average in blue. And those are the two main areas. I would be looking at a 41 cent to get tapped, and then we would have to see if that was going to start using 43 cents as upper resistance now, because we're starting to show a trend here, and that's something that I'm watching out to see if this short-term correction and sell-off continues. And then obviously our major underneath support is 19 cents. And then we had another comment, another coin, my lovely subscriber, whack, answer 8931, XYZ please. And we're going to do XYZ for you right now. I don't know anything about this coin, but we're going to take a look at it. XYZ, nope, Z. And we're going to need to see a tether or something pop up here. XYZ, it's a DeFi. I'm assuming. You can comment to me. No, that's not it. XYZ tether, is that even a thing? I don't know what this coin is. So if I'm not pulling out the right thing, you're just going to have to give me some more info on this XYZ, because I'm not sure what we're looking at here. XYZ USDT. It's some kind of a DeFi, but I'm not, you're going to have to give me, to look at this, my good man, some more information on exactly what I'm looking for, because there's a bunch of XYZs and I have no idea. That's XYZ market cap, it looks like. I have no idea what I'm looking for here. So my good man, please give me some more information on XYZ. I don't know what I'm looking for there. I've never heard of XYZ. And AMP, I am still very bullish on AMP. I do own 240,000 of these coins. And you can see we've had a nice pump, another pump, but this could be looking like a regional double top. And if that is a regional double top, we might be coming down to sell off back into the moving averages. But I'm thinking over the next 6 to 12 months through 2025, this could be a very, very big player, and people could make a lot of money on this, because you can see it's down, and it's down big from its all-time high. And you can see where we used to do AMP when people used to want to talk about it. It's down big. It used to be up about 13 cents, and we haven't had much life. We had one big run-up in early 2024 where we went from a swing low to a wick high of 500%. And even after the 40% move that it just had during this big current bull cycle in AMP, this is only re-rallied now from its regional low rate here to its current wick top, 84%. Could I envision one day where we have a continued rally in AMP all the way up here that I was making targets for back here when it hit this, before it had its extended consolidation when it hit 0.01679? I do believe in the short term, which the short term, I mean 3 to 5 months, that it's going to hit the 0.02324. And from the current price, that's another 300% or a three-bagger on its way up. And I am paying attention for that, because I do own 240,000 of these little suckers. And could it ever make its old all-time high? It's possible, but it's going to take maybe a year or two. But I could see some kind of a hyper pump. And we're going to put this up here just to show. Oh, this must be locked. Yeah, that's definitely locked. No, it's not locked. I don't know why it won't move it. Well, then we're just going to delete you. I believe it could come up there to its old all-time high at some point, but it's going to take a very long time, because its old all-time high was back during the COVID hysteria, or just after, when this coin came on, at about 12 cents. But right now, I would be looking at a pump in the next 3 to 5 months up to 0.0234. And it also could happen very quickly because this coin is known to pump and dump hard and fast. But I am still very bullish on AMP over the coming weeks and coming months. And then we're going to end with some news that I've seen. We can see we had a purchase of MARA purchases 6,474 Bitcoin in convertible notes. Mining company MRAR, formerly Marathon Digital, updated investors on November the 27th, outlining its acquisition of 6,474 Bitcoins, through its recent 0% 1 billion convertible note offering. According to announcements, the company purchased an additional 703 Bitcoin following an initial purchase of 5,771 Bitcoin at an average price of 95,395. That's not a very good buy. You should have bought this on the decline because that's setting up whatever this is for potentially a consolidation and in the red for an extended period of time. They seem to just buy the hysteria, which is not what you do. You buy the dips, you buy the bear markets, you buy the long, deep, depressing consolidations. You don't buy the pump. So these guys went in on the momentum, they went in on the hype, and they went in on their emotions and literally almost bought the exact top. The year-to-date per share yield of this is BTC is 36.7% and currently holds roughly 34,797 Bitcoin, valued at approximately 3.3 billion. The purchase of a portion of the 2026 notes for 200 million, and will use the roughly 160 million remaining for the convertible debt raised to purchase more Bitcoin at a more attractive level during price dips. So you do have a buyer here. The mining company recent 1 billion convertible debt offering takes a page out of MicroStrategy's playbook of issuing corporate debt to acquire more Bitcoin, a strategy that is growing in popularity among corporate institutions. That is something that could be good or could be bad, because if there's a big bear market and the company's not doing well, that could help you to force a bankruptcy or liquidation. So I'd be cautious about that. Bitcoin since 2020 has $3 billion in senior convertible notes at 0% interest. The capital raised $42 billion in funding. The company purchased approximately 55,000 Bitcoin on November 18th and the 24th at an average purchase price of 97,862. So that was almost the exact top. This put MicroStrategies, and MicroStrategy seems to do this every time. They don't do any of these convertible notes in a deep bear market, but they always buy the tops. I don't understand that. That puts MicroStrategy's total Bitcoin holdings of roughly 386,700 Bitcoin, making it one of the largest holders of the digital asset. And he has some of the highest prices. Probably MicroStrategy could face financial trouble if the price of Bitcoin sharply declines, but won't face repayment obligations until 2028. So that's something to pay attention to. They don't have to pay it back till 2028, but the closer you get to 2028, if the price of Bitcoin's not over what they're taking and borrowing this money for from their convertible notes, and say it's 2028 and the price of Bitcoin's at 50 grand in 2028, these guys are going to go bankrupt, right? So that's a very risky strategy, especially when every time they seem to acquire a lot of Bitcoin, they do it after it pumps hard, it hits a new all-time high, and they always seem to find a way to buy the top, which is a very dangerous thing. If I was invested in MicroStrategy, that would make me a little nervous and a little cautious. Like, subscribe, and share to my lovely, beautiful, growing audience. Peace and love.